I'm Vinny Politan. Great to have you with us here on Closing Arguments, and a story we've been covering this week on this program. Rudy Farias was 17, or was reported to have been 17, when he disappeared 8 years ago. Then in June 29th, all of a sudden he's found. And these are the stories on this show that we would usually celebrate. A missing child has been found alive. It's like a miracle. It's what we hope and pray for in all of these stories that we cover night after night after night. It should have been an incredible celebration. But it's something way different. First of all, it's really confusing, because apparently he was never missing. Never missing. For 8 years, he's sort of lived this life in his house with his mother. And what was his mother doing? Why was she doing it? Well, there's allegations that she was making some money from it. You know, fundraisers, GoFundMe, other ways, free trips to visit with other moms with missing children. So there's all that. And then there's potential boundaries that she crossed. Remember, her husband had taken his own life, Rudy's father. So she didn't have a man with her, but she did. She had her son, Rudy. Now, Quinnell X is a local community activist there, and he's the one we've been showing the video with the blanket over Rudy as he's guiding him to get help. He's on the show 2 nights in a row talking about what Rudy told him happened during the course of those 8 years. Some shocking stuff. Take a listen.
It was me and the detective from the police department, HPD, was sitting right next to me. And Rudy said to us that she was crossing boundaries, and I did not like it. I told her I did not like it. We talked about those boundaries that she crossed. And he talked about how she would come in the bathroom when he was taking a shower and what she would do in that bathroom. He talked about being forced to get into bed and lay with her. He said he didn't want to get into bed with her. He would sneak and get on the floor sometime. And he was very uncomfortable what she would do by asking him to get into bed, etc. I don't want to go to too many details because I want Rudy to get the therapy and treatment and the help that he needs. But she was absolutely incestuous and sexually inappropriate with her son.
Okay. Now, police have said that no one's been charged. Janie Santana, the mother, hasn't been charged with anything. Not for the fundraising, the money, and not for anything that she may or may not have done with her son. But now tonight, folks, for the first time, we're hearing from Rudy himself, speaking to reporters in Houston. KRTK in Houston, doing great work, getting the story of this young man who I can't understand, and I don't know what he's been through in those 8 years. But let's take a listen.
For 8 long years, Rudy Farias says his mother brainwashed him, convincing him that he'd get in trouble if he didn't go along with her nearly decade lie about being missing. And after all that time, he says he's ready to say what really happened. Tell us about what it was like living there. Were you allowed to leave the room? Was she holding you there against your will?
She never, locked me in or, handcuffed me or anything like that. I had free will to leave. It just felt like brainwashing, honestly. It just kept confusing me, just the way, she would manipulate me into saying, oh, you're gonna get arrested.
Farias was reported missing when he was 17. Police made sure to point out that he was an adult at the time. He says he may have been an adult, but he felt he had to listen to his mother, the only family he felt he really had or could trust.
She locked me in there pretty much mentally, just that she was my only parent. She was the only person I really had besides my brother. So when I lost my brother, I didn't have anybody to teach me how to live, how to have confidence or trust in myself.
His father was an HPD officer who took his own life in 2014, but they never had a close relationship. His half-brother, who he says was the glue to his family, died in a motorcycle accident in 2011. He says his death took a toll on both him and his mom.
After he had passed away, I just wasn't able to, love myself or anything anymore. I wasn't able to have somebody like a father figure. He was my brother, but I never had a dad.
During the 8 years, he says he rarely left home other than to go to work with his mom. He says an officer pulled him over once when he was driving his mom's car, but says he was told to use a fake name. He says he's been kept in isolation even when family members came over.
It's like I lived in a prison. It's like I lived in a fucking jail my whole life. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to have my own job. I just wanted to live my life.
Activist Quanell X made serious allegations last week, saying Farias told him and HPD investigators that his mother sexually assaulted him. Farias says his words got twisted. He says while mother-son boundaries were crossed, he was not sexually assaulted.
I don't know. I used to have to sleep in her bed sometimes. I don't remember why. Boundaries she would push or make me uncomfortable, and I would say stop, and she'd be like, well, why? What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, and then I would just be like, okay.
The DA's office has declined charges and asked for further investigation. Police Chief Troy Finner says they need to finish that investigation and would not say whether police believe Farias is a victim.
Would you call yourself a victim?
Yes. Heavily. I just want to live my life, I want to have a family, a job, a car, just a house. I just want to live my life and be happy.
This is so incredibly heartbreaking, but also confusing at the same time. Quanell X said he heard what he heard. Victims of sex crimes, it's tough. It is tough for them to acknowledge things that have happened. We don't know, but right now you hear him saying, no, that didn't happen, but she crossed boundaries. He was 18 when he was reported missing. She had given the wrong birth date when she first reported him missing. She reported him as a 17-year-old, but he was actually 18 at the time that he went missing. So he's been an adult all along. So what exactly does all this mean? What does it mean? I mean, did she, let's put the fundraising and the fraud aside for a moment. Just what happened to this young man in terms of what his mother did. Did she break any laws? Did she do anything legally wrong? Did she do anything criminal in all of this? We're gonna need some help. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us live in the studio tonight, criminal defense attorney, entertainment attorney, former state attorney in Florida, former assistant DA in Atlanta, Daryl Cohn is with us. Also joining us in the most dangerous seat tonight in between these two guys, trial attorney, former criminal defense attorney Erica Wilson is with us. And finally, criminal defense attorney, the man with the glasses, in case the lights go out, Josh Schiffer. Okay, this is heartbreaking to begin with, right? Is this heartbreaking?
Well, I think it's heartbreaking, but you have to put a prefix in front of Farias. Put down N-E.
Yeah, I get, yeah.
I got you.
I got you on that. What do you, is there something illegal that happened here? I'm not talking about the fraud, I'm not talking about false reporting, I'm talking about in the relationship between this mother and her son, who, my goodness, I hope he gets the help that he needs. Did something criminal happen there?
My guess is it did.
What's the crime? What's the potential
stupidity.
crime?
I don't think there's going to be any prosecution for that. Remember Al Capone? They knew who he was. They knew what he did. But what did they get him for? IRS. They got him for taxes. I think they will get her for fraud, but I don't think there's going to be any crime that she is going to be charged with or convicted of as far as what her relationship was with her son.
Daryl's not allowed to turn me into the prosecutor.
Get used to this. They don't let you talk. They don't let you talk. Go ahead.
Don't turn me into the prosecutor during the first bit. I'm here chomping at the fact that this lady needs serious state intervention. Now, I don't know how his status can be effectively evaluated as an adult. It's very difficult to kidnap your own child. If there was any inappropriate...
But he's 18 also.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. As an adult, you don't get the same protections as a kid. But if there was testified to sexual impropriety between a parent and a child, I don't know how they do things in Texas, but here in Georgia, that violates a couple of our local laws and traditions. Morally, I'm blown away.
Wait, but let me ask you about that parent and child. I get that, right? Does it matter if the child is 18 and is not underage?
Incest is incest.
No longer a child. He is an adult, whether we like it or not, no matter what the circumstances were, he was an adult.
But I don't think that matters, whether or not he was an adult or a child. What she did was wrong. Now, will she be charged? I absolutely believe she will. We don't know the charges. I think some charges will come out once he gets the proper therapy that he needs. You can clearly see by listening to him, he's still kind of in doubt. Like, I still see there's still a little bit of element of brainwashing there. I think once he can get the proper help and we can find out what really happened, then you will see some charges come down the pipe.
And Eric is absolutely right. The investigation this is still, in law enforcement terms, pretty fresh.
Let me throw another variable in here, because Quinnell also told us, and a neighbor told us. Do we have the neighbor? I'm checking. We have the neighbor. I want you to take a listen to what the neighbor told us about Rudy and what she observed.
I didn't know he was missing. I really don't talk to a lot of people around here. Just talk to a few neighbors. But I didn't know he was missing because I had just moved back in 2021 when I learned of him. Yes, he told me his name was Rudolph, but call him Dolph for short. And but every day that I saw him, he was never in a sober mind. It was always under the influence of something.
Always under the influence. Quinnell was saying that it seemed, from his perspective in his conversation with Rudy, that mom was plying him with drugs, perhaps mushrooms, keeping this kid in some altered state of mind. Does that change the equation here?
Absolutely not. If he was 18 and he took those drugs, those mushrooms, whatever it is that she may have plied him with, he did it voluntarily. There's no thought here of a gun, a knife, but there is an emotional situation. He's old enough to do as he sees fit.
Well,
we may not like it, and I don't, but it's not illegal.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say it was emotional and then say he was an adult and he had free will, because emotional distress and manipulation is a very, very real thing. So irrespective of whether or not he willingly, on the surface, appeared to take these mushrooms, his mother was emotionally manipulating him.
How do we know there were mushrooms? We don't have any toxicology report, and we're not going to have one. We have to go with what we have as opposed to what we speculate.
We just went to mushrooms because they're cheap and easy and everybody understands what they are. Just like people in old age homes and jails, this is how you kidnap someone. You drug them up. You take away their ability to make free adult mature choices by intoxicating them with Lord knows what. That's a neighbor who didn't even know he existed, who then says, yeah, nobody's there, so clearly he's not missing, and she's letting him go out in the world. But on what condition? Is it possible and illegal for her to drug him for years? Absolutely, and that's a crime.
It's absolutely his decision whether or not he wants to take any drugs, if there were any drugs, and we don't know that. Again, we're speculating. He would have to testify. Somehow or another, we would have to have independent testimony as to what happened. This is crazy. It's horrible. But I don't think we've got a crime there. I think we've got the other way. If they know she did it, they'll find a way to get her for fraud, for the fundraising, etc.
Final word.
It's still a crime. And if I buy what you're saying for $1, even if he took it voluntarily, that still didn't give her the right to be sexually inappropriate with him.
So you notice how Daryl will never look at you when you're arguing.
Oh, I'll look at you. I'll look at you.
But you know why? Because
It's not even quarter after.
This is Daryl's good side. This is Daryl's good side, and that's the side that plays to the count.
It's the neck that hurts.